Well, hello and welcome to the studio here in Hamburg. Delighted to say joining me is Olivier Philippaerts. Good to see you here, Olivier.
Good to see you.
And, amazing venue here in Hamburg, but a great history to it. It's one that you all enjoy jumping in.
Yeah, well, this is a show with lots of years of history, so I think it's really one of the best ones of the year.
Well, looking forward to all of that. And a new part of history is the Global Champions League. Now, you on a different team. You were part of the teams last year. This year, Rome Gladiators teaming up with Laura Crouch. First round, first time for you with her. What was that like?
Yeah, well, it's good. I mean, we got a good start yesterday. Unlucky Laura had one rail down, but I think today hopefully we can make something up and get a good placing on the end.
Okay, well, let's have a look at your round from that first day, and Ike was the horse this time around. 9-year-old, and tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, it's a 9 years old. I had him since he was 7, and he really came. He's always been jumping very well, and now when he's 9, he's really getting to the top level, and he's doing great. So I think this horse future is going to be very important for me.
Now you've made a change today as well, looking at Ike jumping there, but you're going to jump H&M Cabrio Van der Heffink as well. So making the change to an older horse.
Yeah, well, the other horse has lots of experience. He's 15 years old, has jumped lots of Grand Prix, so for sure I think it's going to be tough today. So I put him in that class because I know his experience could make a difference there.
Okay, well, we'll see how the difference it makes, but a good start for you. I mean, you're just one fence off the lead at the moment, so still in touching distance.
Yeah, well, for sure, we're close to the first 2-3 spots, so I think everything can happen today. We just have to make sure we get both a clear round, and we'll see where we get.
Well, a few rider changes here. Just a couple of those this time, interestingly, to have a look at those, and quite a few horse changes through into our second round this time. But in terms of rider changes, there's been quite a few through the combinations that we've seen so far. This is probably the least of those. We just saw the one, of course, in Mexico City, and just 2 here in Hamburg. Now, in terms of team strategy, for you, how do you think that works? We've seen different teams make different moves in terms of rider changes, horse changes, we understand.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to get the right horse in the right classes. I think this week there are lots of classes, so that's why I think they make lots of people maybe want to change a horse because they saved them for today and make sure they're more fresh and more fit to compete. So I think that's why some of them make a change.
Well, a few changes throughout the field as well. And, there's some very good clears in there, as we saw Miami Glory and Chanty Pegasus leading the way on the clear round. But last week's winner, Can Stars as well, Luc Gebierbaum, part of the team there. And this is how much it can change around. I mean, Luc finishing with a few fences down this time, which was a surprise to many of us.
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, the level got really high this year, so of course it's getting all more tricky, more difficult. We need better horses, better combinations, so it's getting really every year more and more into the top sport.
We're seeing there Marco Kutscher, his teammate, could barely look away as each fence comes down. It's quite a tense period, but for you guys on the side, it's probably even harder now, part of the team competition, watching rather than competing.
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, we all want to win this team competition, so we're all hot to compete at that. I mean, all we want our team partners to do the best they can, and that's why we also hot to win this class.
Well, the key part of it is going to be getting those clear rounds. Now, you today say just one fence off the lead. You've got Chanty Pegasus and Miami Glory on a 0 score, so one fence is going to make a difference. But we've had a range of clears throughout for the competition so far. And, quite a few of them racking up last week in Madrid, as well as we take a look at how many of those are made up of our championship race to date. But the key part, and we were talking with Luca as we see the clear rounds there, we're talking with Luca and Marco last week, the strategy of the teams. Some are going for pace, but really, as they said, first and foremost is get those clears in and keep yourself in touch.
Yeah, well, I think last year was a bit different. It was more about the speed, but this year, because the level got way higher, you really have to work on the clear round. So I think if you go both double clear or clear in 4, you're doing a good job. But I think it's really important to get as much as clear rounds as possible.
Well, also coming into play there are those type of horses, the fast-moving Grand Prix horses as well, one of which is Lauren Huff and Ooh La La, which we see here. We're taking that as a combination. I mean, that's one really made for this.
Yeah, well, it depends what kind of horse you ride. When you have got a horse that's natural or very, very fast, it's of course a huge advantage in these classes. So, but on the other hand, you have to think about the classes are getting really, really big, so you have to make sure your horse are able to jump it as well. But of course, when your horse is a fast pace, and it makes everything way more interesting.
People like Scott Brash, Lauren Huff, those sort of riders in here that have that ability. Do you look at the other teams? Do you think about the strategy, or do you just concentrate, if you like, in a capsule on your own team strategy?
I mean, I look at the other team as well, but first I think we think about our own team, try to make the plan for our two riders, and I think that's already difficult enough to do that well.
Well, Lauren Huff there, as we can see. Good round from her. She's a past winner of the Grand Prix here in Hamburg, and, well, could she be one to feature for the big championship later on today as well? And in terms of competing in a ring like this, again, you're going to make changes of horses, aren't you? Because some horses suit different arenas.
Of course, if you see all throughout the season, you've got so many different arenas, like from small sand rings to these huge grass rings. So I think for sure you pick out different horses for different kind of classes.
And one of those that's been one of the great versatility is Scott Brash. Now, Scott, of course, is in Miami Glory team that lead the way at the moment. Scott's going to make a change today. He was riding Hello Forever on the first day. Ursula, he's going to ride today. We're going to have a little look around with Forever. But, I mean, this is a horse that's super on pretty well anything. But Ursula would be one suited to this type of arena.
I think Ursula is also a horse he has been really placing in the big Grand Prix, so I think for the moment it's his best horse he can compete at, and you see that he rides it today, and that means that they're hot to win and they want to keep doing that.
And for the riders that we've got coming up, Dennis Lynch, Scott Brash, tough combination, Martin Fuchs and Lauren Huff together for the Shanti Pegasus. That's quite a hard wall to get past there.
Yeah, these four are very strong. They've been winning a lot the last few weeks, and I think these will be difficult to beat, but we can do anything we can about today.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you and Laura here today, of course, for the Rome Gladiators. Just the one fence off the lead. But our leading teams are Shanti Pegasus and Miami Glory. My thanks to Olivier for joining us.